Hi, everyone. Good to see you. I'm going to say a couple words as an intro and then hand it over to other folks on the call. I want to start by saying that, first of all, happy Thanksgiving. I think that this is such a tough time for everyone in the community. And, particularly in the holidays, it's easy to feel pretty down because I think a lot of people are feeling quite isolated and um, at a time when we're used to, when you do feel down, you rely on your friends and family and getting together as a community to celebrate the love and friendship that we have from one another. And it may feel like we don't have that opportunity as much as we're accustomed to. But I'm inspired by a number of things. And first of all, I'm inspired by the creativity of so many people on finding ways to celebrate with other family members and friends, even if we can't be physically in the same space. And today I'm inspired by students that are playing a leadership role when they know that their voice and their actions can significantly impact the behavior of so many community members. Common Ground has always been an organization that has played a significant role in inspiring the New Haven community and opening your arms to the New Haven community. You're not just a high school, but you are a center of community activity. I know just from my own experience bringing my family to experience the farm and the other programs that you offer. And so many residents around New Haven have the same experience of feeling welcome and excited to visit your site and your community because you have made it clear that you are open and welcoming to everyone in New Haven. And I think today is just another opportunity for us to experience what Common Ground is offering through the students in your project at a time of need to show what you can do to be a part of helping us address this pandemic and helping us work together as a community to come together and keep each other healthy. So on behalf of the city, thank you to Common Ground, the leadership, and a special thanks to the students for your willingness and enthusiasm to step up at this time. I'm going to hand it over to Director Bond.
Thank you, Mayor. I am inspired by this effort and your willingness to be able to be community ambassadors on messaging and stressing the importance about staying safe and following the precautions. And so I was so elated to have been contacted by both Joelle and Emily on this effort and quickly engaged our team to be able to support this initiative. So I just want to thank both the leaders at Common Ground and the students for just wanting to take part on mitigating this pandemic because we're in this together. And as you know, one of the efforts that we do at the New Haven Health Department is to really track the cases. And we know that we're seeing an increase in young adults as of late. And so we want to be able to ensure that we have community leaders and young adults to be able to lead this effort with us. And so I want to thank you again, and I want to turn it over to Emily to just talk a little bit about this effort that we're working together and collaborating on.
Thanks so much, Maritza. So my name is Emily Schmidt. I am a chemistry and physics teacher at Common Ground High School, and this is my 5th year at Common Ground. Common Ground is a really special place. We have a mission to be a center for learning and leadership, to invite people across ages and identities to connect to their urban environment, to build community, to grow into their full potential, and to contribute to a just and sustainable world. We do this through the lens of both social justice and environmental justice, and through a farm, in a forest, in a city. We have sort of 3 silos to our organization. We have the high school, our environmental education center, and our farm. And these 3 programs work together in a really beautiful way to serve our community. I have worked at the high school for 5 years, as I mentioned, and one of the core programs of our high school is guidance. So all students, when they come in as freshmen, are assigned a mentor teacher that stays with them for the 4 years of high school until they graduate. These students often refer to their guidance teachers as their guidance dad or their guidance mom because they form really strong connections to these teachers that are meant to support them through not just school, but through outside of school challenges and through all the different things that they face as they're growing and learning. I've been really, really lucky that the students that are coming to you today, I have been with since they are freshmen and they are now seniors. They are my amazing guidance students who will be graduating this year, which is both incredible and bittersweet because I love them so dearly and can't imagine Common Ground without them. When another cornerstone of Common Ground is that we have a commitment to community service. Twice a year, high school students in their guidance groups complete community service day, and they get to have some say in what kind of projects they complete. This year, because of the pandemic, this community service day, which always happens before Thanksgiving, our fall community service day, we needed to be a little bit creative and do something virtual. And I asked my students what they would be interested in participating in. And it was actually Sierra who said, I don't know, Miss, what about COVID awareness? Do you think we could do something to bring coronavirus awareness to our community? And so I recorded that idea, and Mr. Tolman, who was in charge of sort of organizing Community Service Day this year, reached out to the City Health Director, Maritza, who was thrilled to work with us. And in the last just 2 weeks, this plan came together of how we could have my amazing guidance students serve as ambassadors for the city to encourage young people to practice coronavirus safety and hopefully be the faces of how we can get this pandemic under control. So they're here with you today to share their stories, talk about how we can practice safety precautions so that we can move in the right direction with this pandemic, so that we can decrease our numbers, so that we can support our young people in making good and responsible decisions. And I'm really excited for you all to hear from them about what they have to share with you today.
Armanda, do you want to?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Armanda Marca. I am the community health worker with the New Haven Health Department. I've been with the health department for about 2 years, or I'm sorry, 2 months now. I wish it was 2 years, but thank you all so much for being here today. We really appreciate all of you participating in this partnership with your Common Ground School, with the New Haven Health Department and the City of New Haven. As I mentioned earlier when we met, you guys are really great role models and examples for your community and for your peers. So it's really important that you're here with us today, and we truly appreciate your support and your efforts and you working with us in the fight against COVID-19 in the New Haven community. Today, we are going to officially launch our social media campaign with you guys. Considering you are these ambassadors and role models for the community, it's important that you actually set a good example on social media as well as in your everyday life. As we know, COVID cases are on the increase in New Haven and throughout the entire state and country as well. There are many factors that are contributing to these increases in cases. However, today we want to highlight mask wearing among young people. The challenge we are going to all engage in is called the Mask Up New Haven Selfie Challenge, okay? Hashtag Mask Up New Haven Selfie Challenge. Basically, what you're going to do is pretty straightforward. You are going to wear your favorite designed mask. You are going to take your best selfie in the best lighting possible. Once you do that, the mask obviously has to be used properly, so it has to cover your nose, right, as we all know. What you're going to do after is you're going to post that selfie of you wearing your mask on social media. So Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, whatever you're comfortable with and whatever account you actually have. You are going to use the hashtag MaskUp NHV, okay? The hashtag mask up NHV in your caption, as well as you are going to tell us why you wear a mask. For example, I wear a mask to protect my grandparents, okay? And then what I would also like you to do in that same post is tag at least 5 of your friends in the selfie challenge as well, okay? And then finally, tag the health department accounts on all your posts, so then we could share your posts and share and retweet all of your stories, posts, and all of your selfies on our social media accounts. That's the selfie challenge.
Armanda, do you want to talk to some of the students, ask them questions like you did
Sure.
earlier?
Sure. So what I wanted to do is just have a little conversation with you guys. I wanted to kind of see personally, what would you say inspired you to get involved in these efforts in the fight against COVID-19 in New Haven? What would you say inspired you to get involved and help us out in these efforts in the community?
I've personally seen how much COVID has affected like not just my family, but like my peers and their families. And, you know, I'm really young, so there's not much I can do, but what I can do is like advocate and like help people like you get the word out. So that's what I'm here to do.
Awesome. You can definitely do a lot. You as a young people definitely have the power. Thank you so much. Anyone else, would you like to share? What inspired you to get involved with these efforts against COVID-19 in your community as ambassadors? Anyone else? Okay. All right. Well, thank you to you for sharing.
Can we put people on the spot? No pressure. But oftentimes it
looks like
feels
Sierra, you want to jump.
Yeah, there's a lot of, it feels like a lot of pressure, but we're all pretty easygoing here. So Sierra, you want to give it a go?
There's no right or wrong. It's your own opinion. Why did you get involved with these COVID-19 efforts?
Sierra, you unmuted and then muted again. So it sounds like you have something on your mind.
Yeah. I'm sorry, my Wi-Fi was acting up. Anyway, so I seen like the major toll that is taken on our whole entire community. We're losing family members, we're losing our jobs, and excuse me, sorry. With especially how we are today, we need to go out. We need like fresh air for our mental health, our stability, and I feel like it put all of us on pause. It's like we don't want to be able to feel like this major weight on us because of the virus. We're stopping a lot of things. We're stopping from seeing our families. We're not being able to work our proper jobs and get the proper money that we need to be financially stable. And it's like, it's like all of us planned something for our lives and coronavirus kind of just stopped it. Like me, I want to graduate, I want to be able to go to college, but it's hard because Corona is taking over. And that's why I think it's very important for us to take action on it now.
Thank you so much, Sierra. Anyone else? No one?
So
Okay.
students, I know we prepared a bunch of things to say, and so if at this point you want to just kind of share all of those thoughts that we've prepared, you're welcome to just do that as well. So I know Sierra and Dayanara, you were really passionate about sharing why this was important to you. Ibriana, you're welcome to do that as well. And then we'd also wanted to talk about some of the ways that COVID has affected us in school, how we can mask up and social distance properly, and also a little bit about the holiday. Brianna, are you there?
Hi.
There she
I wanted to talk about why it's important to be aware of like who you're around and why it's important to be socially distant. Because to me, I just feel like it's important to, be safe. To me, I think the important thing to me is being safe for babies because, I'm around a lot of babies a lot of times. So I just want to make sure I'm doing my part to stay safe and clean, to make sure I'm not coming home and bringing anything, to not my babies, but the babies I'm around and my parents as well. And I just think it's important to be aware and socially distant because some people are selfish and like they will still go out knowing they have COVID and won't tell a single person that they have it, which is why it keeps, spreading because people are just selfish and won't tell you that they have COVID. And everybody else will be unaware about that and they could be the next person to get COVID. That's all I have.
Emily, did you mention anyone else that wanted to speak after Ibriana? Because we can open up to questions from the press if folks aren't feeling.
Yes, I have a whole bunch of students that are going to share. We talked a little bit about talking about the effects of COVID on school. Do you guys want to talk a little bit about that? Those of you who are going to share those experiences.
Sorry, I'll start then. I guess for the transition from in-person learning to online was a bit difficult. Like I'm speaking from my personal experience, everyone's different. But for my personal experience, it was a bit difficult at first since it was mostly like it was a big like overall like I never did online school, so it's new. But it's also just it was the system was very different. Like it was mostly there's classwork handed to us. Rather than now, it's more like of a class and we get some more support than back then. But I feel like overall through distance learning, like I feel like as a school we have grown together and have like tried to support each other. And I feel like it could be difficult for some students to speak out for themselves when they have questions or ask for extra help because not in person, it's all online. And I feel like just advocating that for students and for students to be able to express themselves like online, even though it's virtual, it can be difficult and like a bit nerve-wracking. Um, but yeah, I feel just also like giving awareness to students. So this isn't like something we want to do. It's just something like that the world's kind of brought us to. Um, and yeah, so I think just spreading awareness for that.
So as Ms. Schmidt said earlier, all of us here are seniors, and so like one of the biggest problems that like COVID has caused in school is like college applications, especially for like first generation students who are going to college, like first one in their families. It's like hard for us to like know how to apply for FAFSA or like how to complete our Common App. So that's like a big struggle area for a lot of us. And it's also like the financial part where we don't know like how much we're gonna have next year, how much our families are gonna have if we're gonna be able to like pay for all of college or stuff like that. It's a big issue we're having.
So first of all, I'm really bad at public speaking, so I'm sorry if I like get repetitive at some point. But I feel like for me, my education has been pretty impacted by like COVID and everything going on because I used to be a really good like straight A student and I'm still ooh, Wait, sorry, my Wi-Fi is messing up. So if I cut out but yeah, my grades have dropped since we've switched to like a virtual learning because I've had so much going on with my mom and just like babysitting the kids in my family because my mom has lupus, which means that she's more likely to like get sick from COVID like worse. That didn't make sense. I'm sorry. But yeah, so I've just been on edge about everything and just really stressed over the situation. So yeah, it's been hard, but sorry.
Good.
I had more I wanted to say, but
Thank you for sharing. It's okay.
So one of the things that I notice when I'm out in public is that a lot of people don't wear their mask correctly. So I think it's important for people to know like what types of masks are effective and which ones aren't. So the masks that or the ones that aren't recommended are masks that are made from materials that are hard to breathe through, masks with only one layer, masks with vents, neck gaiters, face shields when you're not wearing a mask.
You just went on mute. It's hard to hear you.
Are you there, Vanessa?
Yeah. The masks that you should wear are disposable medical masks, masks that fit snugly around the nose and chin that don't cause gaps, cloth masks that are made with breathable fabric, masks with 2 or 3 layers, and masks with inner filter pockets. And your mask should be worn over your nose and mouth and should not be like pulled down like below your chin or below your nose.
Jesus, do you want to say anything? I want to hear from maybe Jesus or Gianni.
Hi.
Hi.
So I want to talk about hello. What I want to talk about today is more of the practice of social distancing. So, like to tag on to what Vanessa said about like the mask and it'll prevent it. Another way you can prevent the spread of the virus is by your social distancing, and that is when you have a safe space between you and someone else not from your household, 6 feet, two like 2 arms, indoor out, like saying 2 arms away, indoor out.
Yeah, I think it's really important for us to like talk more about like distances like that there has to be between people and the right type of mask to wear because most teenagers, or at least like that I know of, they just want to hang out with their friends. So this whole COVID thing is like really bumming them out. And sometimes when they do hang out, they completely like forget about rules. So, letting people, especially kids our age, like be more aware because we can carry the disease. And even if it may not affect us, like we may not get symptoms, we can give it to our loved ones. So that's really scary.
So thank you so much. I want to talk a little bit about how we're kicking off this campaign. And if I want to ask Joel, if you can highlight really quickly sort of what the students have been doing and the kickoff of our Mask Up campaign.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you, Common Ground students. You all are awesome. Thanks for taking a risk and being brave and in sharing your experiences. And I really appreciate the work that you've started to kick off this selfie challenge that Armando was talking about earlier. So I know that you all have been working on designing some masks that you can use to take selfies, and we'd encourage other young people in New Haven to join that effort as well, and take selfies wearing masks with the hashtag #MaskUpNHV, and because we need you all to talk to each other. Like, you are the folks who are going to convince other young people to take this seriously, and I know you all are, and so I think you all are the most powerful ambassadors in spreading the word of this. So thanks for coming on board with this campaign, and thanks for coming to Ms. Schmidt and I with this opportunity, with this need, and getting this all kicked off, especially to you, Sierra, and to everybody in Ms. Schmidt's guidance group.
Mr. Schmidt, do the students have anything else to share? Or should we open it up to questions?
I think we're ready to open up to questions.
Cool. Anybody have any questions? Go ahead, Tom.
Thank you. And thanks so much, students and teachers and everyone, for sharing. It sounds like a really exciting project. I wonder if I could ask the students, maybe I'll start with Sierra, if that's okay, but anyone else can chime in. Sierra, why do you think posting a picture of you or anyone else with a mask on social media will help convince your peers to wear masks and wear them appropriately? Why do you think that social media will help with mask compliance?
Okay. I strongly believe, especially with our generation, social media is such a large platform. It's easy to spread the word on things, and also, like, us together, working together is making the big part of it. Everybody's on their phone. Everybody's checking their Instagram, their TikTok. It's a daily thing. And if they're seeing, like, if others are seeing how important it is for us, and like the sincerity and the generosity of like working together, they're gonna want to be a part, and they're gonna understand why we're doing what we're doing. And when people see it
I think your sound just cut out, Sierra. We can't hear you, Sierra.
We lost the last part of what you said, Sierra. I think you had audio problems. This is the joy of distance learning, you all. This is what we're facing in our classes on a daily basis.
what part did you hear last specifically? Because yeah, it is cutting out a lot.
I think the last we heard was, if others can see how important mask wearing is, then they'll understand what it means to you. But if you could just repeat the last sentence.
Yeah, so once they see it everywhere, they're checking, and they understand like our problems with it, and they're gonna see the problems that they're facing with it. It's gonna be pretty easy to spread, and they're gonna want to work together to predominantly like decrease the statistics. And since we're so young, and a lot of things where we can't help with like money and all that, social media is the one thing that we really have on top of everything else.
Yeah, I want to add on to what Sierra said. You know, us teenagers, we use social media a lot, and there's a lot of like big influencers that may be around our age that are still having parties like during a global pandemic, which is like very concerning. And that's like the influence, like they're influencers, they're supposed to be influencing us. And having those parties makes like teenagers think, oh yeah, it's okay for me to hang out with my friend and not wear a mask, and like completely like forget about COVID guidelines. So like having teenagers like us, you know, advocate and say, yeah, like this is a problem, and like you guys have to take this seriously for your families and for yourself and for your education above all. it just kind of evens out the playing field, because right now it's just like a lot of like big influencers just telling you like, oh, mask, don't worry about it. So we really like need more teenagers like us who are willing to say, no, that's not okay, and we should be wearing our masks. Yeah.
And thank you for that. If I may put you on the spot, Dayanara, do you have a mask nearby, one that you would theoretically take a selfie with to show your peers how important mask wearing is?
Yes, actually the school gave me this one. It's this white one. It goes with all my outfits, as you know. I also have a black one over here. Also goes with all my outfits. So, you know, masks I think can look really fashionable. They can really like, you can make them work. But just make sure you're getting ones that actually like are fitting. So like these, like as like Vanessa was telling us earlier, I had to check my mask. There's like 2 layers. So, like it's good. And then I can like fit it over my nose and everything. Like you see, I look 10 times better like this. Like, you know, masks can really like change the game in the fashion industry. I'm saying it now.
And then my last question for you, Dayanara, and anyone else can chime in. What is if you would use the hashtag, the mask up NHV, what is the one sentence that you would also put in social media, you know, in your post about why you wear a mask, about why it's important? What's kind of an example of what you would post?
That's a good question right there. My one sentence of like why you should wear a mask. I don't know. Hashtag masks are cool 2021, because we're about to go into that year. But yeah, I think that's because I don't want it to be like too like, oh, like you always hear like, oh, for your family, for this, so like making it just a little like, you know, kind of funny, kind of quirky, makes other people want to join in as well. Yeah. I bet someone else has a great answer too, so feel free, my peers, please.
Anybody else want to share? Gianni's hiding. We can see half of his head.
We have a shy group.
Yeah. Any other questions from folks? All right, last chance, students. Well, thank you for stepping up and doing this. We're excited to see the selfies. What's the timeline? When are the selfies going to start being put out there?
You guys, sorry, go ahead.
I think you all have already begun, right? I think you're starting this today, launching it right now, and going into the Thanksgiving holidays, right?
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Schmidt and guidance group. Yep. So right now is the time. We need this.
Feel free
Thanks,
to start
Joel.
taking your selfies. I cannot wait to see them, and I cannot wait to share your posts.
Joel, watch out for that truck. Something backing up over there. All right, thanks everybody.
Mr. Mayor, I did have one question.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kyle, I didn't see you.
So this sounds like a great program. Is there a component for distributing masks? We've heard from some people in the community who are saying that they have a hard time accessing masks. Is this partnership with the city going to provide masks to anyone, or is there a thought for that in the future?
Director Bond, do you want to?
Well, so we have different mask initiatives with different groups. So we are always looking for partnerships and collaboration. This particular effort, we're not going to be giving and distributing masks. This is more of a social media campaign and marketing to the media outlet, the virtual world. But we certainly are always exploring. We did reach out, get a contact this morning of someone that wants to provide masks to a specific community, for example. So we'll be partnering with that agency in the very near future. So a few months ago, we did it in the Hill and partnered with the CMT group and another private entity. So we're always exploring opportunities to do so.
Anything else, Kyle? Okay. Great. Thanks, everyone. Have a happy Thanksgiving. All right, take care.
Likewise, stay safe.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mayor. You guys.
Guys,